Greetings, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thank you for logging on. Today we're going to discuss the usage and care of your FP Journe Octa UTC. This is an automatic winding watch with a 120-hour chronometric power reserve, and there are 3 ways to wind the timepiece. First, a note about the power reserve. It will run beyond 120 hours. I refer to that as the chronometric power reserve, as that is the period during which FP Journe vouches for the precision of the watch. At extremity, it may run for as many as 7 days. Wind the watch from a stop by turning the crown clockwise in its first position, flush the case, 3 dozen times. This will be sufficient to give the watch an energy buffer as well as sufficient power reserve that you can then put it on your wrist. And the second winding method, case back rotor and kinetic wrist energy, will continue to energize the watch. There are times when the watch cannot be manually wound, nor can it be automatically wound by wear, but you may have access to a watch winder, and this is the third means by which the watch might be wound. When looking at the watch from the dial side, place it on a watch winder such that it will turn in a counterclockwise direction. If the watch goes onto the winder such that the case back is facing outward, ensure that it is turning in a clockwise direction. The timepiece does feature a number of displays subsidiary to local time. As the Octa UTC, this watch has a 24-hour second time zone coordinated to a display of universal coordinated time zones across the globe. The local time, that is the 12-hour format, and the outer scale is coordinated to the date display. And the timepiece has an intermediate setting position in which you can set the second time zone independently, quick set the date, and it should be noted on the case flank there is a pusher adjuster that is used to step the UTC time zone display in 1-hour increments. You will note both standard and summer time are available on this timepiece via a +1, 0, and -1 standard, summer, and winter display time. Let's talk first about setting the date. In the intermediate position, that is not flush to the case and not all the way out for setting, you will turn the crown counterclockwise to quick set the date. Now when you turn the crown clockwise in this position, it rotates the UTC zone indicator and it steps the second time zone in its 12-hour semicircles, 24-hour full daily circuit, but it steps in a counterclockwise direction to easily distinguish it from the local hour. You will also note that the reference hour, that is the time where you are not, features an inner circle of rose gold numerals as well as a rose gold hands to set it apart from local time. When not necessary, you can hide the reference time display underneath the primary local time zone. The local hour will cover that secondary display and clean up the dial. Now, the best way to set the watch is to first set your local time and your local date. So we will set the local time to 4 o'clock. Now we're going to put the crown in that intermediate position. We're going to turn counterclockwise, and let's say our date is the 27th. Okay. It's also best to turn, we may as well do that just for demonstration's sake, if you're not sure where the local hour is in regards to AM, PM, it always helps to turn it through the change at midnight. So now, if I had meant to set 4 p.m. for my local time, again, the crown is now all the way out, it's been pulled to the stop and the third position, and I'm turning it counterclockwise. Now I can set 4 p.m. And now we're looking at 1600 and we know it. Okay. Now I'm going to set my reference time. Let's say where I'm going, it is currently 6 in the morning. There. Now I've set my reference time, I've set my local time, I've set my local date. The last phase of the operation would be to step the UTC display such that each of the segmented zones with a color-coordinated anchor at its outer circumference aligns correctly. I will place my local time zone, and I'll use those color-coded edges on the periphery to line up my local time zone with either spring forward or fall back time considerations if we're using summertime or differential time practices. And if we are just using a standard time and we don't have that distinction, you're just going to set your local time zone such that its color-coded outer rim aligns with 0 at dead center. And you will now have set the watch. By the way, when you step that zone indicator, you do not move the hour hand, you only move the zone indicator itself. The timepiece will face 3 primary threats in service, the first of which is water. Now, this timepiece is water resistant to 30 meters, which is to say it's sufficient for splashes while washing one's hands or inadvertent rain exposure. But leather, as seen on the strap, is a natural porous material that is never water resistant. Therefore, keep leather remote from moisture. Should it become wet, dry it immediately. And if you know your watch is going to be exposed to heavy sweat, moisture, or water in advance, simply use the pull tab bars within the actual root of the strap, pull them, withdraw them with a fingernail, remove the strap, and fit a water-resistant band such as textile or rubber. Moreover, you can help avoid accidental drowning. Don't use the UTC stepper and disuse all crown functions when the watch is submerged or even when there's water on the case, as this can bypass the seals of the case. So disuse all functions as long as the watch is wet. If the watch should come in contact with water that is salty or that is flush with solvents or powerful purifying agents such as chlorine, clean the watch with a moist rag, no actual water, but a moist rag and fresh water to moisten it, and then dry it significantly to the point that no more moisture is visible on the watch's surface. It's also important to remember that water resistance, unlike mechanical specifications or dimensions, is not a static feature of a watch. Over time, as seals age and lubricants degrade, a watch will be relatively less water resistant. Therefore, it's best to have an annual water test at an FP Journe authorized service center to ensure your watch is still splashable. Now, magnetism may not cause damage to your watch, but its effect will be to induce erratic timekeeping. The ferrous hairspring at the center of your watch's balance, its heartbeat, can become magnetized by powerful static magnets in speakers, subwoofers, wallet and purse closures, or refrigerator doors. Powerful electromagnets, as featured in MRIs, or even high-powered wiring looms and personal devices, can magnetize your hairspring. If you suspect due to erratic timekeeping that your watch may have become magnetized, take it to an FP Journe authorized service center where specialized equipment is available to quickly and easily demagnetize your hairspring. Whereas magnetism can be reversed relatively easily, concussion and shock may cause grave and more lasting damage. Minimally, concussion can alter the timing of your watch. Maximally, it can damage sapphires, eject crystals, damage seals, or even stop the watch. Therefore, FP Journe recommends that you disuse the watch during concussive activities such as batting, tennis, golf, firearms marksmanship, or the riding of ATVs or mountain bikes. Ultimately, roughly every 4 years per FP Journe, a fine mechanical timepiece will require a full service intervention. It's best to have total condition checked during your annual water test, and should an intervention be required, service exclusively with FP Journe or a factory authorized service center, as these agencies solely have the specialized case tools, specialized movement tools, original factory parts, and trained personnel to preserve the value of your watch as both instrument and as investment. Moreover, only these agencies can back all labor and parts invested with an FP Journe factory service warranty. The standard warranty when purchased from an authorized dealer is 2 years. However, by registering at fpjourne.com within 30 days of purchase, this can be extended by 1 year to 3 full years of warranty. Finally, visit our website at govbergwatches.com and call, text, or email our experts who will be happy to walk you through every phase of the usage and care of this or any FP Journe fine timepiece.